As a small business owner, you no doubt face a host of challenges. And chances are you think you're the only small business facing those challenges. Well, what if we could connect you with other small businesses and other small business owners who might be going through similar obstacles in trying to grow their business? That's exactly what we've done along with our friends at QuickBooks. It's a thing called the Quick Round as part of the QuickBook Challenge. Two business owners in the same room at the same time, sharing stories, swapping ideas, sharing advice, and jointly trying to pilot some solutions. Let's find out what happened in today's Quick Round as part of the QuickBooks Challenge.
Today's Quick Round with QuickBooks Challenge focuses on simple strategies for managing your debtors book, or basically getting paid faster. With us, we've got Douglas Seepman and Carlos Batiste. Douglas, starting with you, tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay, we have a very young tech business. It will be 3 years in November. And we sort of try and use out-of-the-box thinking to create solutions for healthcare professionals just to achieve best cold chain practices for their pharmaceutical products.
Fantastic. Carlos?
Yeah, I'm an architectural practice where I essentially do designs for new homes. Sometimes I've been also approached by clients to do shops, redesigning and remodeling shops. There is some degree of construction involved, so that's pretty much what I'm doing. Essentially, I'm an architect, but at a lower scale. So that's pretty much what I'm doing.
Great. So guys, I think all business owners know that a sale's not a sale till the money's in the bank. From your perspective, how important is it to make sure that you're getting paid and you're getting paid on time?
Geez, I'd say it's fundamental. I mean, the idea that you can actually grow. I mean, if you want to scale your business, you're going to need to be paid, or have other otherwise you have to find alternative financing models if you're not being paid, which can be difficult.
Yeah, because obviously you've got overheads, regardless of whether you're working from home or whether you're working from a studio. You've got your overheads, which needs to be covered, and obviously, if that's not coming in, if the money's not coming in, your overheads are not being covered. So it makes your life harder if those things are not seen to or dealt with immediately.
And I imagine over the course of your businesses, you've had experiences of not getting paid on time. Yeah. How have you adapted your strategies or implemented strategies to make sure that your customers are paying on time or are incentivized to pay on time?
Yeah. I think from my perspective, from my point of view, what I tend to do is I don't start a job before a deposit has been paid. So what I do is I charge a 50% fee up front, and then once the job is done, then you can pay. But what I still find is that clients do tend to linger on paying that final amount. So it does become, because you don't want to end up arguing with the client over money, because you don't want to create animosity really, because you still want to maybe create a long-term relationship with the client, and it's important to rather keep your cool.
But a 50% payment up front is a great start ensure that you at least have the base payment before starting a job.
Pretty much, yeah. But at the end of the day, they still feel, listen, I don't think I need to pay you like right now. I can pay you when I'm ready. Which sometimes you have to be understanding as the service provider. You have to be understanding that maybe the client might not have the money now. But even though he does know that he needs to pay you, but let's just be a bit lenient on that. But yes, 50% upfront is a good start to do it.
And you, Douglas?
Yes, I mean, our business is sort of based on a low value, let's call it monthly service fee. So, I mean, we don't have a big risk in terms of our exposure to our customers, but we've used strategies like incentivizing quarterly payments. So if you can pay quarterly payments, the motive is that you get a bit of a discount, but then you also only have one debit order, which is, let's say there's one fee instead of 3 monthly debit orders, which gives them 3 fees. So we do quarterly motives, half yearly, or even annually, and we give them a discount for that. So we managed to sort of get a monthly fee change into a lump sum fee, which just helps us to grow our business.
Yeah, from my point of view, from my perspective, for my company at least, it's rather difficult to actually set up a debit order where it's a monthly payment, because it's not a lengthy process. So the job is done now. And once the job is done completely, the balance should be paid, so the money should be sorted out, the job is sorted out, the money should be sorted out. So it does become a tricky situation when
what about it from a systems perspective? Are there processes you can actually put in place, first of all, to identify when a customer is overdue? and second of all, to then track going forward and ensure that you are actually recouping that money?
I think it's a good question, because I think if you haven't systemized that, I think you're actually looking for trouble, I think, because you need to be able to track these things. And actually, if they're not systematic, they're going to be labor intensive.
What I've also found is that, especially if you have an influx of clients at a certain point, you do tend, like for example, I have lost track of clients who have and have not paid me. Then I'd have to actually go back to my bank account and physically check the statement, has this client actually paid? So it does become difficult. So I haven't implemented systems yet. It is in the process, it is in the pipeline, but I feel that to some degree I am a bit too busy to actually deal with it, and I need some sort of simpler strategy to actually implement that kind of thing.
For sure. And I guess the last thing that I want to touch on is really, it's the relationship aspect of this problem. It's often a very sensitive subject to raise with particularly a bigger client who hasn't paid on time. How do you go about approaching those clients in a way that doesn't potentially damage the relationship, but still ensures that you're not putting your business at risk from a cash flow perspective?
Yeah, I think that a lot of it is customer delight. So if we do it as well, is we actually communicate quite often with our customers. So there's always a touch point. So you don't want to have your first touch point being one where you're actually looking for cash. Whereas if you've had regular touch points, when you do follow up on payment, it's just a regular communication. It's not as volatile.
Yeah, you got to use tact when it comes to actually asking for money, because like I said, you don't want to create animosity. Because you still want to build relationships later on down the line. It's like burning a bridges. You don't do that, especially in business, because tomorrow they might end up referring you. And most of my business is word of mouth in any case. And it's important to build that relationship. And when it comes to money, everybody knows that money is a sensitive issue. You can deny it as much as you want, but it is extremely sensitive. So claiming money and asking for money straight out the barrel, it's a bit hard. So
it's a very fine line, I guess, maintaining the relationship but still getting paid. I guess one option is to make use of a financial controller whose sole function is to manage the finances and deal with that aspect with the client.
True. But at some point you got to understand, is it really within the budget to appoint a financial advisor, as it were? For me, I know personally, I can't appoint a financial advisor because the money's not coming in quick enough to pay. Because obviously the financial advisor needs to get paid regularly and on time. So you don't want to get into that bit of trouble when it comes to paying him as well. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think it's a very good point, especially anybody who's an entrepreneur, started a small business. So systemizing these things can help you, because you no longer need a big budget to be a big business. Like you did in the old days with the service providers that are out there in cloud computing and cloud accounting, and you can actually run these things on quite a small budget as long as you systemize.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys. Thanks very much for your input.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Today's quick round with QuickBooks Challenge focused on strategies on how to get paid faster and manage your debtors book. We had Douglas Siepman and Carlos Batiste with us. And I guess the key takeouts that we had were, first of all, making sure that you implement systems so that you don't have to manually go through the process of ensuring your debtors book is being managed. And second of all, the sensitivity that's required to manage the relationship between the client and yourselves to make sure that, first of all, you're getting paid, but that you're also doing it in a way that maintains the relationship.